everybody, Dr. Rory Stern here of ADHDFamilyOnline.com, and right now I want to talk to you a little bit about who can diagnose ADHD, because that is almost as important as the person being a specialist in how you diagnose. So first and foremost, I've talked to you about how to diagnose, and that is really finding a specialist who understands ADHD, who understands child and adult development, and really understands this idea of differential diagnosis, ruling in and ruling out what else it might be. So in terms of who can you turn to, let's take a look at who cannot diagnose ADHD. ADHD cannot be diagnosed by a teacher, a principal, a coworker, a family member, a friend. Somebody else with ADHD cannot diagnose you with ADHD. Now, unless, of course, these people fall into the category we're going to talk about. You want to be careful about people throwing this label around or people trying to diagnose you with something that they're just not skilled at, okay? The people who actually, according to the insurance companies and the medical community, and this is important to know, it's according to the insurance companies and the medical community, the people who can diagnose ADHD, we'll start in order, a psychiatrist, a physician, a pediatrician, a psychologist, a social worker, mental health counselor, which might just be a master's level clinician. They might not have their doctorate like a psychologist does. And I believe there are certain categories of nurses and nurse practitioners, maybe even physician assistants, who are specifically qualified in making that diagnosis. Another group of people who cannot diagnose is a coach. Even if they're a certified ADHD coach, there's no designation for that right now, or there's no universal designation. Those people can support you, they can help quote-unquote treat you, they can coach you, but they can't really diagnose. That has to come from a medical professional. And that's really important because, well, quite frankly, we have to follow the rules, A. And B, we're looking at medical professionals to diagnose ADHD because they understand, hopefully, the brain and body connection. They know the physiology, the anatomy of what's going on. They know what's going on at the brain level. It's not just about understanding ADHD and the symptoms and what appears to be. We also need to go to people who have a fundamental knowledge of the body, the brain, the systems, how our organs interact, and what might be going on. That's why we go to medical professionals. That's why it's so important to go to qualified individuals who can diagnose. So again, I would say that the emphasis out of the entire group of people that I suggested to you as people who qualify as being able to diagnose, there's not one person you should go to over the other. What you really want to focus on is what are their qualifications? What's their expertise in ADHD? It's really all about understanding it. You can go to a pediatrician, and in fact, I think the numbers are something like 60%. I know it's 50% or more of children diagnosed with ADHD are being done so by their pediatricians. They're being treated by their pediatricians. And hey, that's just the way the world works. That's the doctor who knows you the best. That's the doctor you can see without having a waiting list. But they are generalists. They're not specialists. So it can be easy. I'm not saying it happens all the time, but it can be too easy to mistake something that looks like ADHD for ADHD. So again, the real takeaway here, there is a list of people who do qualify for being able to diagnose ADHD, but priority number one, are they an expert? Do they specialize in ADHD? Do they specialize in children or adults? Do they specialize in development? Do they know enough about ruling in and ruling out certain other conditions that look just like ADHD? And we'll talk about that list because it's pretty frightening and it's pretty long. But that's it for today. Find a professional who you can trust. Find a professional who knows what they're talking about. That's the best way to get started. Until the next time, everybody, take care.